Hello, welcome to my kitchen. I recently completed work on a Venture Brothers tattoo sleeve. And this video is about that tattoo sleeve. I tried recording a video where I was actually live and showing off my arm and talking about things, but showing off tattoos in awkward spots on your arm while talking about them, is kind of the expert level version of walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time. I couldn't do it. There was a lot of ums, there was a lot of uhs, a lot of pauses. So instead, I'm just going to show you some pictures and talk about the process of getting tattooed. So here we go. All right, so in this very first image, we actually see where I started with my tattoo journey, which was getting the communicator watch tattooed. All my tattoos were done by Alex Reed 8 on Instagram. Is his name. He's from the Saratoga, New York area. He does fantastic work. That said, the communicator watch was actually a little bit heartbreaking for me. The way the dial came out is kind of weird, and I didn't notice this until the evening I got the tattoo, when I was showing my wife side by side, hey, this is what the communicator watch looks like, this is my tattoo. I didn't notice until that moment that the image of the tattoo is actually mirrored. But I didn't even notice it myself, so it shouldn't really bum me out that much, like, because I'm obsessed with the Venture Brothers. But yeah, so basically, the red button should be all the way on the left, then the blue button, then the dial. The same thing with the little toggle switch on the right on my tattoo should be on the left, yada yada. You get the idea. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But that's my biggest gripe with my tattoo. And overall, I love my tattoo to pieces. So next up, you have a little bit of Helper. And above Helper, you have the decapitated Dean. Dean does actually have a head. I just didn't get a picture of Dean's head. But I promise you it looks like Dean. Grover Cleveland's presidential time machine is there. And that represents, I wanted that to represent the season 8 that never was. So I wanted some kind of shout out to, there was going to be a story about that in season 8. So I just thought it would be cool to kind of get that. I mean, I think Grover Cleveland's presidential time machine is funny and a cool prop. So I would have gotten it anyway. But it also has this double meaning of being representative of the season 8 that never was. All right, so next we have a better shot of Helper and Hank, who is next to decapitated Dean. You still can't see his head, but I promise you it's there, with a problem light in between them. A small regret, I guess, is that I had asked him to bathe them in red light, and ultimately it took away some of the vibrancy and brightness of Hank and Dean's costumes, which is something that I really like. I like cartoons. I like bright things. I'm a giant man-child. So, next is basically the next couple things that I got were Dr. Venture and the Monarch there. And now, I don't know if you've put this together, but basically everything that I've shown so far, with the exception of Grover Cleveland's presidential time machine, is from the Morphic trilogy. When I started, there you can see a little bit of Dean's head. When I started, I really I was only going to do characters from the Morphic trilogy. I had this weird idea that I couldn't possibly have characters next to each other in costumes that didn't make sense. In other words, I couldn't have Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch, or rather, I couldn't have a Dr. Girlfriend costume with the Jack Onassis pillbox hat look next to Sergeant Hatred with a V on his face, because those two characters never existed at the same time. So my remedy to that issue, that problem, was to just pick an episode, or pick a specific time period, or pick a trilogy of episodes in this case, and do all tattoos from that. I did later abandon that idea. If you look really closely at the Monarch, that he's actually a cover-up of a Bill Cipher tattoo. Right next to his ear there, you can see the very top of Bill Cipher's top hat, and on his chest plate, you can see that you can see a little bit of the brickwork on the bottom part of Bill Cipher's body. And above that, you see the nozzle, and you see Billy Quizboy. Yep. I think I got Brock next, and Brock was when I decided to say screw it to the Morphic trilogy. I'm going out of order with Billy. He was added later, but Brock was the next thing that I got after all my Morphic trilogy characters. And Brock was when I decided I just want Brock in a suit from Operation Prom running to save the day. Like that's the coolest Brock moment in the entire series. That's what I want. Above that, I got 2-Ton 21. To the right of 2-Ton 21, I have a Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, and I think her face looks a little weird. I can't put my finger on why, but I think her face looks a little off for some reason. Above that, I have the Sevens, who are my absolute favorite tattoo. And above and to the left of that, I have Dr. Killinger. Now, Dr. Killinger was another kind of obstacle. I actually had a Dr. Killinger black and white tattoo long before I started this sleeve. The problem with that is that in black and white, I had his eyes done black. But in actuality, Dr. Killinger's eyes are like a glowy yellow kind of thing. When you're doing a cover-up, you can't cover up black with yellow. So I kind of told my artist, hey, here's what Dr. Killinger looks like. I got this idea with like flames and like maybe like a cool celestial kind of, it's actually supposed to be like kind of celestial looking pattern for the mask, and then surrounded by like flames. And I said, take that idea and go nuts. And this is what he kind of came up with. And actually he put a little, like kind of like a compass thing up there, which works really well because Dr. Killinger's brothers are all the lesser winds, are 3 of the 4 lesser winds, so which are directional. I don't want to get into it. Look up Dr. Killinger's, you figure it out. Next up, these are some of I got Bobby St. Simone there at the bottom. Now in the movie, she's actually not fully blue, her body. There's like some stripes of like yet to be colored parts on her body. And I told him, don't do that, just color her solid blue. I kind of regret that now. I think it makes it harder to tell what's going on. That she's like wearing makeup, that she doesn't just have a blue body. But I still like Bobby St. Simone, and I as a tattoo, and I think it's a really cool, fun thing to have like a pinup lady on my arm, which is something that I've always thought was kind of a neat thing, but also am too shy and embarrassed to actually get. So this is kind of my compromise. And obviously she seems like one of many characters. So then above that, we got Phantom Limb in his Revenge Society getup, my favorite version of Phantom Limb. Above that, we got the Hank Batman mask, the Bat mask. And on my elbow, I've got the Venture V, surrounded by the orange and yellow kind of thing. Above the Bat mask, I have Shore Leave. Bonus, it's him wearing the Rusty's Day Camp shirt, so I have a little, it's very hard to tell, but I have a little Rusty Venture on my shirt too, on my tattoo as well. And then another shot of the Sevens, my faves. There's a better shot of the kind of compass thing. And then you get a little Orpheus action in there too. I love me some Orpheus. Better shot of Phantom Limb in his Revenge Society getup, and you got Sergeant Hatred shooting the Shrink Ray, which was another prop that I really wanted to get in there because the Shrink Ray is like ever present throughout the entire show. Actually, that Hatred is sideways. I think it kind of looks like he's bent at the side and pointing up at the sky. That was kind of my memory of that scene, but in actuality, he is way more. He is just flip that image 90 degrees. That's how he's actually firing the gun. All told, this was about 2.5 years of work. I met up with my tattoo artist about every 3 months. And we worked for about 3 to 4 hours at a time on this. Yeah, I have a work meeting. I have to go. That's it. That's all I got. Go Team Venture. Good to see everybody again. Maybe I'll see you all soon.